Yo boys, this video is sponsored by War Thunder.
Alright boys and girls, and welcome back to another building video. This time we're back on everybody's favorite footprint, taking on a nice little cute design that wraps up simplicity, a nice build cost and upkeep, an amazing online and offline raid protection, and crams it all into an amazing footprint. This one is pretty cool, comes with a cool little shield wall, an amazing compound, great turret coverage, lots of online defense capabilities, giving you a really cool little shooting floor and roof retake setup that's going to allow even the smallest of teams, potentially even a solo, to take this design all the way through an enjoyable wipe. The expansion is simple, tutorial is going to be nice and easy to follow. This is absolutely a banger to add to your arsenal for maybe wipes where you're not expecting to be doing too much farming, but potentially you could be running up a movie. This is definitely the base that's going to take you all the way there and give you an enjoyable time. For those of you who are waiting on a snowball, I am trying. I'm really trying. I don't know. My luck is incredible recently. But for now, we have a base building design. Of course, these videos take a long time to make. So if you're feeling nice, maybe drop us a nice little comment, maybe a like too. Of course, subscribe. I would love to hit 100,000 subscribers. That would be pretty mental. And we'll go ahead and break down the tour of this video for you now. Alright, let's get on now with the tour of the new base build. So this is a pretty simple 2x2. Not something too crazy, nothing too advanced to wrap your head around, but something simple to throw down on average wipes or snowballs. Is going to give you a bit of bunker, a little bit of defense, and a little bit of offline protection. So we get everything we need kind of wrapped into one. We got two standard externals here, and this is how we set things up. This is where we can disconnect our external, so you can see that it connects through just like this, and if we break the twig on the inside, we're going to pop that connection, allowing us to replace the main TC over in here without this overlapping. And then we just tuck the TC behind the glass over here, and to replace this setup, throw the twig back in and build along like so, upgrading everything back. Yo. Boys and girls, the Patreon is going crazy. To everyone who's already checked it out, that's a massive thank you to you. I really do appreciate it. And anyone who hasn't had a look yet, we are up to 27 private bases. Some of those being actual bases that I use inside of my snowballs and wipes, if you've caught those. Constantly updating this with brand new base designs. And of course, inside the Discord, it gives access to new roles, faster response times, guidance and help with your own questions and anything else. And of course, it supports the channel directly, and it means a massive amount to me too. And hopefully you guys get some value out of it as well. I appreciate you guys for listening though. Drop this video a little like if you can, and let's get back on in with the tour. We can then head into one of our two gatehouses, and those airlock out, giving us a nice bit of visibility here too. If you skin this door, you can see on both sides of compound before you head out. We get some beds in here, but we have a dedicated bedroom as well on the opposite end of the compound too. Opening up this door is going to take us into a compound where we have two turrets covering pretty much the entire setup here, and then a nice shield wall going all the way through, allowing you to build up and over to keep the house safe from incoming rocket fire. So all the way around here, you can spam your walls, and we get a nice gap here where the compound sections start to meet up, and you can throw a large furnace behind this section too as well, which is pretty nice. So on both ends of the base, we do get a nice bedroom on this side, and that comes with a Patrico to watch our little exit door around the back of compound. This is something I've been trying to add as it's super nice. Essentially, when you have your high walls blown, you may expect to see some raiders around this area, around the back of the shield wall, and you'd want to be able to loot them without heading out of gatehouse all the way around. So we have a nice little exit door that's purely for looting around the back of this compound section, or allowing you to come out and seal with high walls from this area here. You can stand kind of safe and place it from here. We can then enter one of our two entrances into the base, keeping the base nice and symmetrical. And of course, again, that airlocks us out to make sure nobody can go deep. Jumping up and through, we lead into our mobility chute, where one of the doors lead into core, and on the opposite end of the base, we just continue up the chute. This takes us into our second floor though, where we get an early game battery around the back here. Spots for all the deployables you could need. A little bit more loot space. You can throw a shelf up here for some more boxes too. I was just trying to make it look nice. Then we have a console friendly bunker, so this is usable on console and PC, which is pretty good too. And if you're unfamiliar, the way this one sets up is we have a wooden foundation down the bottom here. It needs to be wood, not twig. Breaking this foundation here is going to open up the bunker, and then if we want to replace it, or during the day, we can just set it up like this, leaving these in wood. And then you can move around the base freely during the day, and then when you want to close the bunker, you just want to soft side out this kind of staircase, and then just replace that armored ceiling, and that's going to seal everything up nice. And as long as you have a respawn in here and a tool to chop this out, then you'll have no issues. And then of course our TC tucks in the back over here with a decently standard 2x2 starter core here, just missing one square so that we can have that bunker. Back up on second floor, we can head through the mobility chute and take ourselves to our third floor. So jumping up to third floor now, that's going to take us into a little bit of a bedroom section here, which is super nice. We do get another battery too, which is 2 walls from the outside, and we get a nice little loot room set up here with some beds. Of course, you can take the beds out, have some more loot space, and we do divide down the center of this 2x2, keep the raid cost a little bit stronger, so you can see that the base is symmetrical on the opposite end. And this is where our other mobility chute starts to link up. We get more beds, more respawns, more loot space spread out throughout the base, keeping it nice and strong on that raid cost. And then we can hike all the ceilings so nobody splashes through there. Jumping up one more time, we can come up to our next floor. This is going to be more of a loot space section as well. You can kind of set this up with some mixing tables. I've got it with electric furnaces, but just whatever the wipe needs, you can set it up like that. And this is finally where our 2 mobility chutes meet in the middle as well, which is super cool too. And then we can head on up now, giving ourselves a one-way retake onto our shooting floor. A couple of windows to check before we head out. A little stair bunker onto our roof exit as well, which is pretty cool. I can show that after. And then we can exit out onto our shooting floor through the airlock. Shooting floor is pretty standard. We're just utilizing kind of the chase box peaks that I've been repping. And then we get some wide gaps down on this side too. And they're decently covered wide gaps as well, so you can focus the downward angles without anyone taking you off of these from a distance. So we can look down and through the rest of the shield wall, looking behind and in front, which is super handy as well. And we get a couple of Patricos on the left and right too. And we can just rep a little sofa here in order to use these angles a lot better. Toggle up on the higher angles, looking down and through, and then tighten up a little bit as we back off, looking towards any fobs and such as well, which is nice too. With the wide gaps and the corner downward angles, you're going to have great coverage throughout the entire base. And from our shooting floor, we can also retake our roof by opening up these doors, and we can look up to our roof, and that's on both sides to cover the entire roof and ensure there's nobody up there who shouldn't be. That's on both sides, you can see over here. Entering back into our core now, we can jump up to our roof exit. You can see I have stair bunkered the roof exit, so nobody can come down from above unless you have the stair bunker open. And the way that one sets up, unfortunately console won't have access to this, but you simply set it up, the little twig triangle here. Breaking that is of course going to break the bunker, and then that's how you replace it, just like so. Nice and easy. Stairs need to rotate in that orientation, and we do get a nice vending machine here too as well to do a little bit of drone selling. Exiting out onto roof now, 2 turrets cover the roof nicely, and they're pretty hard turrets to take down with a heli too, which is nice. We get more Patricos up on roof to give us some more angle coverage, and these are going to look towards kind of a fob as well as some downward angles with a little bit more distance too, with some visibility in the center as well, which is nice. You can see the retakes are holding all of this roof together, which is cool too, and you can fit a minicopter in here as well, and it's pretty hidden too from the outside, which is nice. So we get some angles up on roof, 2 turrets to cover through, windmills for our batteries, some respawns up here, and a drone vending. Overall, it's a nice, cute, simple 2x2 that I reckon you guys should add to your arsenal if you're looking to have a pretty cheap, easy, simple wipe. And I'll go ahead and break down the build cost and upkeep for you now. First of all, on screen is the total build cost. Second up is that build cost in box amounts. And lastly is the total upkeep that's spread between 3 TCs, and the main TC is holding the majority of that upkeep. Now we go ahead and break down how to build this one.
War Thunder is the most comprehensive vehicle combat game ever made and is now available for free on PC consoles and all mobile devices. Take command of over 2,500 vehicles of the 10 major nations, ranging from biplanes and armored cars of the 1920s to the fighter jets and main battle tanks of today. Immerse yourself in the detail, the realistic graphics and authentic sound effects that situate you right in the intense combat of War Thunder. I personally like how much you can customize each one of your vehicles, but I'm sure you'll enjoy the 3 separate game modes to choose from, allowing for fast-paced matches, more challenges, or the ultimate balance between intensity and authenticity. You don't need extra hardware, so KBM and controller work in every single mode. The game's heavily optimized to give you the best FPS and lag-free experience. Join their massive community and take place in epic PvP battles today. War Thunder is available for free on PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and mobile. Sign up using my link in the comments or description to gain a massive bonus pack for new and returning players. It's only available for a short time, so don't miss out on the Eagle of Valor decal, the 100,000 silver lions, and the 7 days of premium account unlock. Now let's get back on into the vid.
Alright, so now we're going to get on with the tutorial. We're not building a full 2x2. We can start with a little L shape here, leaving this square out, and this is where our TC is going to go. I'm going to throw that in the back right side of the square, and then you can wrap all the way through with double doors and ceilings through this L shape. Over here things get a little bit different. This is going to be our wooden triangle, and we need to do a lower triangle on the left with a raised triangle on the back of that. Upgrade this as soon as you can, and also honeycomb the top of it, just like so. And it's a standard wall on the left, and a wooden staircase to take us up. Already, you are ready to bunker the base, so if you want to do that, you could do that now for whatever reason. So that's how everything sets up, just the same as it was in the tour, but we'll leave it like this while we build. Wrap up over the top now, and you can throw a shelf in here if you'd like some extra boxes, and also another loot room is going to go to the right of our jump up. Directly in front is a single door here facing hard side in, and that's going to be a battery spot. You can throw your battery in there, or anything that you might think throw in there for now will work. Then it's just walls on the left and right, and a single door to enter this second floor, peeling the entire 2x2 off, with our mobility chutes being the only way up and down. This looks a little bit weird though, so we'll fill in the honeycombing and give ourselves a way up to this floor. Again, so we're honeycombing on the left and right. Staircase is going in the middle, just like so. And to make that jump easier, if we come out with a second foundation like this, we should be able to get up and down nice and easy and build up to our mobility chute, taking us to the third floor. There we go. If you want this to airlock, you have this one swinging out the way and this one swinging out the way, and then nobody is getting in there. Now to get the base looking nice and symmetrical, we're going to want to do the same over here. So we'll come out with the 2 triangles, honeycombing just like this. We've already honeycombed this side, and you can still place the staircase over on this side. It just goes weird. It's hard to get it to go blue. But if you just get it at the right angle, you can still do the same jump up. That high foundation gets in the way ever so slightly. And then we do our airlock again, over here and over here. And this time we skip a floor, but we still continue the jump ups going through. This can be honeycomb. And then we jump up and over to third floor. And we'll bring this up a level so we can do a bit of roof camping. So wrap around the back of all these triangles like this. This is going to be a triangle that we do actually use again. So you can turn that into something. Then the jump ups continue, but we want to airlock that so that nobody can go deep from above. So we just have it sitting like this with a double door. And later on, you'll swap that with the garage, of course. And then we exit out onto roof from a double door as well. And then we can wall this part in, giving us some coverage here. So you can hide a minicopter in here. You can throw some twig down so that you can do a little bit of roof camping. Whatever setup you think works well. But this is the height I'll take the base to, and then we'll start to focus compound. Maybe leave it like this. And now you can actually use your roof a little bit for now. Early game roof peaks. Then we can wrap this other side in triangles. Full first floor honeycombing, just like that. And we do the same over here. So everything is nice and honeycombed on the first floor. We want to honeycomb this raised foundation too. So make sure you start with that side. On the airlock side, we're going to bring it out the extra triangle. Same on this side with our airlock, gets the extra honeycombing. So that's the best way to think of it. Extra honeycombing on the airlock side. And this is the shape of the base that we're looking for. Next, we're going to go ahead and try and get some externals down. And I'm going to throw in 2-side symmetry for this, just to speed up the video a little bit, so we're not here all day. So that just means that everything I do on one side, it's going to do to the direct opposite. So we're going to do some build outs coming off of the 3 triangle side. So opposite of the airlock, we have 2 sides here that are just pure 3 triangle combing. And we're going to come off of there doing the 3 square wide gap method. So 1, 2, 3, capping it with a triangle. And then we'll return back with a row of triangles just like so. And then break everything. And we want to come off of this with a square. Break that triangle down, and we return back 3 triangles to create a nice square wide gap here. And that's what we're looking for. You can take these triangles away off the sides here. We don't need those. And then we're going to try to build all the way around and meet in the middle. And that's our game plan. We can start by placing a triangle here into a square into 2 triangles. That continues the wide gap along, just like so. Do the same over here. Triangle, square, 2 triangles. And that's the shape that we're looking for. Again, we're trying to come and meet in the middle here. So we can wrap around the back with more triangles, leaving a little gap down here. And then you're going to take one of the sides all the way to the center here. So it's a slightly off-centered, not perfectly symmetrical footprint. So just on the left side here, we're going to bring this all the way around and through. Creating a full hexagon just like this, and then finally joining it off right at the end there, lining everything up, and you should have the blue walls like this, creating a nice gap down the side. So you can see the footprint is not bang on symmetrical. We just come along a little bit longer around one side like this, to create that kind of off-centered footprint. So we start the wide gap in the middle, but we bring it around and the gap actually winds up over here on both sides of the base. So hopefully that is making sense to everyone, and then we can upgrade. So next I'm going to go ahead and add some walls and frames because these foundations actually need to be joined together. A lot of these are not real connections, so we need to join them up first. We can start off by adding a double door here onto the square side where our wide gap begun. And then we can add walls dividing down and around just like this. And we'll need to join onto here as well. And then a single door, double door, wall. And that's the bare minimum that we need in order to link all these foundations together. And then we need to go ahead and add an external TC to upkeep all of these together. There we go, everything links up nice, looking good. Our external TCs are going to come off the front two sides, and we'll start building those now. Alright, so now that we've linked all of this together, we need to add an external TC to upkeep everything. So we're going to come off to the side where we wide gap from. Off of this square, we're going to do a triangle, and we'll wrap that into a bit of a hexagon here, taking us out with the square, and then into a nice external TC into that shape there. So this is our external over here, this little 4 clump of triangles. We can break the foundations that lead everything together, leaving this one for our gatehouse airlock. Build that in, and the rest of the gatehouse like so. And then we mimic the airlock that we have on the front door, adding the doors in the exact same kind of way. And now we want to go ahead and build the external TC. So over here, the right hand side triangle that lines up with our kind of airlock, we're going to double half wall, setting it up like this, leaving the one underneath to be twig, so we can reduce the stability of this half wall whenever we need. Then we're going to do a single door to lead us in, walls to wrap around the back. You can either single door or window the TC, or garage door, it's completely up to you. And then we garage door around the front too. Throw your TC in here and it should place just fine. And then we want to link everything together. So we'll come off the side here, adding in a frame, just like so. Then we can break the foundations, keeping the stability low on this frame too. Then we add a frame off here, into a square, into a triangle. And that joins the connection together. And you'll see if we break the twig, that connection breaks. And that's exactly what we're looking for. So we can add everything back. And that's our external done and dusted. Looking pretty good. And we've got that on both sides. On top here, we can add in a half wall. And that just makes it a little bit harder once the barricades are set up for a compound to be jumped into by grubs. Then round on this side, we're going to go ahead and build this little bedroom section. And then we're ready for some high walls, large furnaces, and we can start expanding the base up, making it a bit more defendable. So over on these hexagon sections, we've got 2 of these, and these are going to be a kind of 1 bed section with a exit out as well. So from where our double door is, we want to make sure we have a nice airlock leading out. And that's going to wrap us around behind compound for any retake potential we might do. Then we can wrap around the back of this, just like so, creating a patrico right in front of this double door. Trying our best to place the right things. There we go. Just like that. So we get a patrico in here, and you can fit a bed in here too. And if you want to make the placement a bit easier, then you can have it be not a single door. But you can throw a bed in here, and then a barrel above the window like that. So you get a little single bedroom like that. And an airlock out around the back of compound, nice and easy. Throw a ceiling on that. Turret's going to go on a frame here, and it's going to need some half walls on the back, so we can wrap all of this section in. Keeps our turret a little bit safer from the outside, kind of honeycombing it like this, leaving this space here for a barricade. And then you should be able to push a turret all the way back up against this frame. Really slam it into the back walls, and then you'll see it go blue. And you can ceiling on top of that, and give it some chain link on the left and right, just to keep it a little bit stronger. And you'll find that this is actually quite a tough turret to take down. It can be super handy for us in an online raid scenario. So we throw that chain link in there, and it's got some good coverage, and it's watching anyone laddering over, which is nice too. Once you got all that set up though, you are ready for some high walls, so we'll go ahead and start throwing that down now. It is a 3 high wall seal, and we have 4 gaps total, so you're going to be looking at 12 high walls. If you're a mathematician, you'll know that. And I'm going to throw on a little bit more symmetry just to make this simpler. You're going to start yourself over at the gatehouse, and we are looking to add a wall on the left and right of this gate, Looking up at the top here to make sure there's no gaps, and we want to have a smooth, flat wall up against here, so we're not coming in at an angle. We just want this to be straight off the gatehouse, and that's what we're looking for there. You should be able to tell that that's pretty straight. There we go. Oof. Precision. Then we can come around to the bedroom section, and it's going to be a little bit different here. We're going to be slightly cutting in towards the ping wall, just like this, kind of bringing that through. And we're looking for a one high wall seal over in between these, just like this. And you should be set to go, just like that. There we are. Beautiful. And that's our compound looking pretty good. We do need 4 barricades in order to seal this up as well. So you can come around the front where our gatehouse is. And I'll throw 1 barricade on the front here with a half wall like this. And over on this end, I'll bring out a little bit more twig. And just throw this barricade kind of forward in the middle here. It might not look like it's covering things, but if people were to try and jump, you can see that there's actually no way for them to jump past this. Maybe with a boost, they could pull it off. You could throw some half walls in the back here, just to make it a little bit harder. Or another barricade on top. But if you're really down bad on blades, then you can seal this up nicely with just 4 barricades. And it's got a nice, neat looking compound too, which I love to see. As for the shield wall, ping wall, you are looking for some deployables, anything to make your life easier so you can kind of jump up and around here over the top, and that's good to have too. But that's compound pretty much done and dusted, and we're looking pretty good. Next, we're going to continue honeycombing the base, and I'm going to keep the 2-sided symmetry on for now while we raise up some honeycombing. So we'll start by honeycombing the top of our airlock, just like this, and we can honeycomb around the sides too, all the way through. And 2-side symmetry still on, so that's on both sides we've honeycombed. And we'll raise this one up too, again. Just like so. This time on top of the airlock, we don't honeycomb, we're just going to raise frames, and this becomes kind of part of shooting floor now. And we can start working on this kind of inner floor here now. So, on the 3rd floor of the base, I do like to divide it down the middle. I feel like that keeps things nice and strong. Gives you some beds that you're going to be able to use to respawn in an online raid. And in an offline raid, it keeps the storage a little bit safer too. So you can wall all of this in, throw whatever you'd like in here, another battery, and then get some more boxes down, set it up like I had in the tour if you'd like, and then we can pop this door off and change it to a garage door. And we're looking to continue up the base now. So I've done that on both sides here. And at this stage, I'm going to take off the symmetry and we'll start working on our 4th floor. So we can start wrapping around the back of this, and this is where the mobility chute ends. Go ahead and honeycomb this triangle in here, and we can wrap in through with a double single door, just like this. Doing the same again over here. Honeycombing the triangle, and then wrapping into this floor, just like so. From there, you want to pick one of these 2 squares to be your kind of jump up, so the ones that are not in front of the single door. Once you've selected it, you can go ahead and throw a kind of staircase set up here, so you can fit a bed on top of this area, and then we add a one-way angle, lining up with this staircase like this, and the rest of the floor is completely standard and normal. So you can see the mobility chutes come together, join up on this floor, and then we start heading up to shooting floor level, and we get a little one-way there as well, which is nice too. From here, you want to wall in the rest of your jump up, and we're going to double half wall on the left, and that allows for a stair bunker later on. If you're on console, no stair bunker for you, I'm afraid, but the base still works. Apart from that one little feature, but it's still worth building. Don't worry about that. Then we can half wall on top of our one-way, add a window here to check outside of shooting floor, add a single double door airlock to exit us out, and then we can jump up from this section here, adding a staircase to ramp us up and over. This is going to be a vending machine. This is going to be your way out, and you can throw both of those in now. And you'll see we can stair bunker this section off to make that top down a little bit harder. So if anyone is trying to lick up the base, I'm going to go ahead and throw symmetry back on now because we're ready to work on shooting floor. For starters, we're going to add the honeycombing around the rest of this floor, just like so. Over on these extra triangles here, we're not going to honeycomb them. You can add 1 frame here, but not one on the inside. Super, super important. And then you can float a triangle frame beside it, creating this setup here. Again, we want to leave any frames out of the middle so that we can do our little door trick. We'll do the same over here. And that creates a nice little shooting floor setup, just like this. Making sure that both of these slots are blue and available to use. And And then we're going to go ahead and raise up from our wide gaps. We're going to do 2 layers into half walls, another layer of frames, finish it off with half walls. And then we can add our floor in there, and we've got our wide gap ready to use. Looking nice. You want to drop a frame off of these 2 door frames just before the half wall, and that's going to let you add patricos onto this kind of tower. And then we can add this on top to keep our head a little bit safer. And we get a little visibility window here with some glass, and we patrico the rest of this just like so, and give yourself a good deployable here, maybe some beds to let you use these angles even better. And then this is a bit of a weak spot on the side here, so you can add a door to cover up the gaps so that we can focus the downward looking all the way through, and anyone a bit further away can't do much about us on this angle. The next thing we can do is around the front side here where our airlock is. If we raise up with half walls, then we add in more frames with a half wall in front, we can create a nice little door peak angle here to retake our roof. So we can play off this, add some frames throughout the rest of the shooting floor, and some floors in front of that. And that's how we have that part setting up. The rest of it we can fill in with walls. So we add in walls in here and here, and here and here. We can also do frames around this wide gap side too, adding ceilings on top. And for those of you that are familiar with the Chasebox Mini, you might already know this tech, but it sets up pretty nice and gives us quite a strong shooting floor that's definitely worth using in cheaper bases where we're not looking to spend too much materials. So on the corners here, we're going to be looking to place 2 single door frames at the exact same time. You can either bring a teammate and do a little 3-2-1, or you can try and do this yourself by setting your FPS limit in the console to 1. That's going to set your FPS to a minimum of 20, and that should allow you to kind of glitch these 2 single frames in at the exact same time. So you're looking to switch your mouse between the 2 sockets nice and fast, plus also spamming left click. So we'll see if we can get this first try. There we go. Beautiful. So we get them both in. Honestly, if you're not able to get this, the only one that really matters is this one here, with the single door opening out the way to close the gap. You can see you get a little bit of a gap, but it's not a big deal. This is the most important one though, so if you can only get this one, just go for that one. But if you'd like to try and do the little glitch tech, then that is the method. You can see I'm failing it now. There we go, got it. So that's the difference between the 2 options there. Kind of closes that gap, keeps it a lot more downward, a lot safer, and a bit more stable too. We can go ahead and do that on the remaining side though. First try, that's how it's done. But yeah, a lot of people struggle with this one. If you're one of them, don't worry about it. It's not a massive deal, but it's nice to have if you have it. And then we can seal the rest of this in, and that completes our shooting floor, looking pretty nice. So we got our roof retakes, our way up to roof. A couple more things to add to make the base a little bit stronger. Off the sides here, we can add in some frames, and we can half wall and window in front of those. That's going to be a visibility window down the center here, and we add some floors to stand on without ruining our angle. And you can add low wall here, frame here with another low wall. And the stability is not going to be massive on this level, but it's fine. Just like so. And then again, give yourself a deployable to use this. A couple of roof angles up top. We can tuck a turret around the back here. You want to bring this decently forward so it has the best view without being too exposed. A bit of chain link in front. Half wall on the sides here. Just a little roof ramp too to make raid bases struggle to see up here. And you can low wall around the back of this and throw a windmill in there too. And then our windmill goes in. And then once you've done that, that completes the base design.
Remember to check out War Thunder and sign up using my link in the comments or description to gain a massive bonus pack for new and returning players. Thanks again to them for sponsoring this video.
Hopefully you boys and girls have enjoyed this video. If you did, then please feel free to leave me a like and drop me a comment down below. Remember to check out the Patreon, join the Discord if you need any help at all, and I'll see you boys and girls in the next video. See you in a bit.